Hey Carl, Jason here. Just listening to your latest episode. Your voice is indeed louder in this one. I don't think the sound quality suffered at all, but it was definitely easier to hear you. I didn't have to turn the volume all the way up, so there's that. As far as your choices, yeah, I think you got some great choices there. It's hard to pick a best con game just because there are so many great ones, and you have a lot of fun at cons, right? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I did provide an answer on my podcast, and I'll provide an answer on your Discord, but it's a tough question because most con games do end up being pretty fun. I think it's, at least in my experience, a bad con game is much less frequent than a good one. You know what I mean? It's rare to have a bad one. Most of them turn out to be pretty fun. And part of that's the uniqueness of the situation, being with different people and experience different things. So I think there's a natural excitement to that, but yeah, conventions. I don't go to enough of them.
Yeah, Jason, I think we need to change that. You need to go to more conventions. We need to pick a convention and all meet there, I think. I think that's in the plan at some latter date. So, yeah, let's do it. And I agree. I think I've only had to date one bad con game, which I've documented before. But yeah, out of so many that I've played and online, I guess I'm shocked. Okay, maybe two bad con games. But those were live, and online I've never had an issue, which I think is very cool. So I really enjoy con games. It's always a fun time. It's always fun meeting and playing with new people and clicking in that small 3 to 4 hour window and having a fun time. Speaking of fun, that's funny. All right. Funniest game. We're getting to the prompts now. I believe that Day 17 is the funniest game you've ever played in. And it was a convention game, speaking of. And in that game, I and Amy both played in it. I believe it was for BSRCon this past January. And we all got to play it. It was Harvey's. It was a game where we all played. It was Savage Worlds, Suede, and we all played cartoon characters in a cartoon universe with all the crazy cartoon stuffs. I believe that who else played in that game that you might know other than Amy? I believe that MW Lewis of Worlds of MW Lewis played in that game as well. And we just did crazy cartoon shenanigans, right? Like I remember MW were trying to fight this bad guy, or it was this cat that we kept blowing up, and it kept coming back, very cartoony. And he is trying to blow us up with a cannon that he called from thin air, and MW's character was like doing the wick thing, like psh, 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 on the wick as he's trying to light it. It was pretty fun. That was among one of the many shenanigans that happened. Amy did like a really high-pitched guinea pig voice. She was a guinea pig. I was Harvey the hamster. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's just silly, right? I believe MW played a rat. So it was super cool. Had a great time playing it. And that was my funniest game because it was hella funny and we were all very much laughing. My favorite game system, now that's a challenging one because again, it's one of these, what's your favorite? When I have many favorites. And also, I have game systems that I prefer for various genres. If I want to run Sword and Sorcery with a dash of Sword and Planet, then I will run Hyperborea. And in that world, because I like it a lot. If I want to run existential horror, I choose Call of Cthulhu, for example. If I want to play sci-fi, most likely Traveler, some sort of 2D6 system using Traveler. But Modifius 2D20 has a lot to offer in that realm as well. But what is my favorite game system? This is actually in a way inspired by hearing you and Eric Salzwedel in the reboot of Omega 3D Chicken Coop. My favorite game, because it's universal easy to run, easy to teach to new players. I mean, as Amy got back into gaming, I've been trying to get her back into gaming for a long time, and it always balked when she played with Sean and Robin Bircher at a con. It was Savage Worlds, and right, she loved it, and so we play Savage Worlds a lot, and I really enjoy that game. It's probably one of my favorite kind of universal systems. I don't know if I would play Deadlands necessarily as a Western. BRP works really well, and I really enjoyed Boot Hill when we played it, but I do enjoy Deadlands for Weird West, right? I mean, I'd love to get Weird Frontiers to the table, but we always kind of drop back to Deadlands. And then Savage Rips is going great. It's really fun to do that. I'd love to throw in the Supers thing with Savage Worlds. And I think Savage Worlds ETU is one of my favorite kind of genres, right? ETU, like Buffy in college. The Pine Box material looks great. I've always had a great time with Savage Worlds. It runs fun at the table, whether virtually or live, and it probably is my favorite game system that is pretty easy and facilitates a lot of fun in gaming. And finally, my favorite published adventure. Again, this is hard to pick one, but I think recently running through the Enemy Within campaign for Warhammer Fantasy, I think my favorite published adventure, I mean, aside from being the Enemy Within, because we're, kind of neat that we're more than 60%, more than halfway done with it. But I think the Power Behind the Throne has been one of the most fascinating, well-written adventures that I've ever, it's fun to read through. It's fun to put everything together. The handouts that Cubicle 7, is that who makes it? Cubicle 7 put together were great. In memory of Carl Sargent and Carl Sargent's template that he created way back, Warhammer Fantasy First Edition, that has come forward with Graham Davis and others, revamping it. But it's definitely Carl Sargent in there. Lots of intrigue, lots of factions. Man, you get the chance to play Blood Bowl. Your characters get to play Blood Bowl. I mean, it's a little off the rails, but it's there. The chassis is there to do it. It's full of fun and intrigue, really tough encounters, notorious villains, and they're well written. I mean, this was a villain that hung in there and got away, the big villain. So that to me is a mark of a well written adventure. You know how it goes. The characters surround the villain, make sure, and they alpha strike him, and the villain's gone and doesn't get to come back. But this villain will come back, which is great. I really enjoyed the adventure. I really enjoyed reading it. I really enjoyed running it. So I think Power Behind the Throne is part of the Enemy Within campaign for Warhammer Fantasy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. 3 quick prompts, a very quick session with an awesome call-in by Jason Connerly. This has been the GMologist Presents. If you want to comment, feel free to do so. Please send me a voicemail or an email message to gmologist@gmail.com, or drop me a direct message through Discord. My handle is Carl Rodriguez, so that's pretty easy to find. And then what else? Oh, the intro and outro music is done by TJ Drennan. My wife Amy does the cover clip art. I also have a SpeakPipe account that you can leave a message to me, but most people seem to use a voice recorded thing, and people rarely use the Anchor Spotify for podcasters website to leave me a message. So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope to continue. Wow, we're day 19. Does that mean we're like 2/3 of the way done? Almost 2/3 of the way done with the month. That's crazy. August is slipping by. So anyway, good night and good rolling. I still need my 3 chords in the truth homage. Something like maybe 3d6 is the truth, 3d6 and the truth. I don't know. It is one of my favorite lines in music where they say 3 chords in the truth. It does come, the origin of which is from a country singer back in the 50s who said that's all you need is 3 chords and the truth to make a country song, and that's kind of seeped through the other music genres. So how does it seep into our RPG hobby? We'll think about it. Anyway, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.